But she was right, Sarah. She showed us a soul can improve. He saw the light, Sarah. Checked all the boxes that you said would prove a person deserves a second chance. Now we turn our backs, no second glance. It's not as simple as you think. Not everything is spelled in ink. It's not fair, Sarah. Careful, Charlie, keep a cool head. No, don't you dare, Sarah. That just because someone is dead, it doesn't mean they can't resolve to change their ways. Turn the page, escape infernal place. I'm sure you wish it could be so, but there's a lot that you don't know. What are we even talking about? Some crack or who fucked up already? He blew his shot like a cock in his mouth. This discussion is senseless and petty. There's no question if big pose, he's unholy case closed. Did you forget that hell is forever? A man only lives once, we'll see you in 1 month. Gotta say, I can't wait to come down and exterminate you. Wait, shit. What are you saying? Let me get this straight. You go down there and kill the poor You didn't know. Whoops. Yes, the cat's out of the bag. What's the big deal? Sarah, tell me that you didn't know. Since I'm older, it's my load to shoulder. No. You have to listen, it was such a hard decision. I wanted to save you, the anguish it takes to do what was required. To think that I admired you, well, I don't need your condescension. I'm not a child to protect. With talk of virtue, just pretension. Was I too naive to expect you to heed the morals you're purveying? That's what the fuck I've been saying. If hell is forever, then heaven must be a lie. Emily. If angels can do whatever and remain in the sky, the rules are shades of gray when you don't do as you say. When you make the wretched suffer just to kill them again. I was told not to trust in angels.
By her?
She should know.
We should go.
No! Don't you see? We've come so close. Look at them fighting. They're at each other's throats.
Don't you act all high and mighty. Did you ever think your little girlfriend might be a liar?
Don't. Please.
What's the fuss? Why hide the fact that you're an angel just like us?
Hello, this is Zach here. Welcome to the reaction video, and today we'll be reacting to one of Godzilla videos video. This is another request video. Should have probably put that in the title, but This is another request video from Godzilla himself and Neil's Gamer to also who asked me to request watch 2 videos today. So we'll be watching 2 for the price of 1 video. Yeah. The first video you want me to add to is, I believe, this one. It's like, let me. Maybe just share screen. Share screen. He wanted me to add to this one. This is the shorter one. The other one he wanted me to add to is a little bit longer, like 38 minutes longer. It's only like part 1. Jesus Christ. I'm guessing Shimu was being added to the roster of Rwby Resurgence, but that's cool, I guess. Okay. I'm done with that. I'm okay with that. Why not? Why not? Anyway, here's another video he also wanted me at too. I'm just gonna pull it up right here. It's gonna take like 5 seconds to pull up. Also, for some strange reason, I didn't get a notification for this one, but I did get a notification for that one.
Hello, everybody. I'm the Godzilla Reader, and yeah, today I'm back with another review. Now, from the thumbnail and the title, you may have noticed that this is not the second part of the Aspen Hotel review. Don't worry, guys. Me and Neo are gonna get over that once we get the time. And I guess in the positive side, I actually finished watching the entirety of Aspen Hotel, and well, I'm not gonna tell you guys my opinion, as you will find out once we get around doing the review. But yeah, also speaking of Neos, he's come back to, well, do the review with me with this searching movie that we've watched. So please welcome once again, Neos Gamer.
What's good, everybody? This is Neos Gamer 04, aka, I guess Neos Cyber might as well be my other name now, but like Reader said, like Reader was saying, this time I'm back.
Well, thank God there's no echoing in this video, because I think the last video that he made, there was a lot of echoing.
What was it again?
I see that they fixed that.
What's this?
Okay.
What's I got? Okay, by Furious Lizard and Power Glow. Wait, that's not the right.
Oh my God!
Oh wait, right. It was Godzilla X Kong. That's the right thing.
Oh my God! By Furious Laser and the Glove Monkey. What?
I said by Furious Lizard and Power Glove Monkey. I mean, look at them.
I mean, yeah. Just the poster of the movie, kind of screams that.
It doesn't help with when the trailer came out.
Yeah, okay, but yeah, this is the movie we're going to be reviewing. That is none other than Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. So yep, let's get this review started. Carnage, if you wouldn't mind, had that intro that I made a while ago.
It's a good intro.
Okay. Okay, so Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, which is the fifth.
Let me guess.
Yeah, if I don't wrong, the
Let me
fifth
guess.
installment of the
Let me
Monsterverse.
guess. Wait.
And
Wait.
from
Let me guess.
if you
This is gonna be a positive review, and he's gonna be praising the crap out of this movie, huh? Yep. Let me guess. That's basically what this video is gonna be, huh? He's just gonna be praising this movie to high heaven, praising everything that was good about this movie, even though it's not good in my opinion. It's average at best. That's saying a lot.
if you guys already saw the movie, you guys should know what this movie is about. Basically, a new discovery down in the old Earth, which forces Godzilla and Kong to team up in order to stop it. And that's basically the summary of what this movie is about. I guess what we can get started is our opinion on the MonsterVerse. Me personally, I absolutely adore the MonsterVerse. It is by far one of my favorite eras for Godzilla. Like, man, there's so many. I mean, sure, people
Of
nowadays
course,
have
this is
been
favorite
mostly
era. You
complaining and
can't
also
stop praising
being
about the
critical this
MonsterVerse. I'm
era,
sorry,
but
the MonsterVerse
really,
is not my favorite era.
I am one of the people who would absolutely embrace this era. Like, this is one of the best eras that Godzilla has been through, honestly. And well, before -1, I will definitely say that this era has done Godzilla a lot right than what Toho has been doing ever since Shin Godzilla came up, and then the Reiwa era decided to go downhill with the anime trilogy and Singular Point until well -1 came and basically saved them. But that's not the topic for today. The topic for today is obviously this movie being the 5th installment of the MonsterVerse. So yeah, that's my opinion on the MonsterVerse so far. What about you, Niels? What do you think of the MonsterVerse?
Okay, personally for me, I've enjoyed most of the stuff the MonsterVerse has had to offer. Honestly, I'd say this.
I enjoyed the
definitely
first
has
3
probably one of my favorite
after
iterations of both
Godzilla King of the
Godzilla and Kong. I do actually like how they how they decided to take on the mythos for both characters. Although one thing that I kind of feel like they sort of lacked in, at least like before this movie, was that I felt like Kong kind of was always given the short end of the stick, which I guess sort of makes sense considering that, well, obviously most of these movies kind of have Godzilla in the forefront, and he's also like obviously the most popular, like probably, or at least arguably the most popular out of the two here. Especially since I'm pretty sure most people rooted for him when these two pretty much have the rematch, even if it's a separate continuity from the Showa era version, but still.
And
but I guess also.
Yep, and I was gonna say yep, and I was one of those people who rooted for the King of the Monsters.
Same. I like Kong, but I was rooting for Godzilla mostly.
Same.
Then this movie changed. Then this movie changed. But before then, Goji was basically getting most of the best stuff. But Kong, yeah, like even though I like Kong, he kind of got dealt the short hand, the short part of the stick. Because let's see, the few projects he's had, like in the MonsterVerse, were basically Kong Skull Island, which was probably his best thing at first. Obviously, his first crossover with Godzilla, at least like from the MonsterVerse, and then like the only other 2 small projects he's had on his own was the Kong Skull Island TV series, or just Skull Island, which I don't hate it. I thought it was good, but it's definitely like the weakest entry in the MonsterVerse. But at least regarding like film and animation
good.
Good
is one way of putting it.
The worst thing that he kind of has lately is
Skull Island doesn't exist in the MonsterVerse.
That dang video game.
Oh god. Well, thank God that game isn't related to the MonsterVerse, but yeah, that's probably.
I thought it was.
Oh no, don't worry, it's not. But I guess in terms of Kong's history, yeah, this is probably the worst thing he got in terms of his history.
Yeah, that's kind of nuts. Godzilla just keeps winning now, but Kong, the only thing he can really rely on is really just the movies. And the thing is, he hasn't even got like a proper sequel outside of just crossing over with Godzilla. That's kind of the one thing I found kind of odd.
Yeah, I suppose so. But I mean, even if Godzilla's winning, Godzilla doesn't really have any games that is good. I mean, most of them just have games.
Yeah, though to be fair, neither him or Kong really got a good game right now. Kong at least has a console game, a god-awful one. And Godzilla, all he's got is just mobile games now. Like the best thing they got in terms of console games is just being in Giga Bash, which might as well just be considered a crossover game. That's literally all they got right now. That and just like being in like events for Battle Royale games.
Yeah, pretty much. But let's stay in topic. But yeah, I think we can agree that the Monsters is a pretty good era for the King of the Monsters.
Yeah, we can't really deny
Nah,
that.
I wouldn't say so.
All right.
I'm not a
Now that
Monsters
we
hater.
talked
I
about
just
that,
hate
let's talk
the
about
last two
GXK.
Monster Centuries.
I
and
guess
Spoiler.
the first thing we could talk about is well, I guess the plot of this movie. Like I said in the summary, basically
plot?
it's
There is
basically
no
about
plot.
an unknown discovery in the old Earth that no one is aware, which basically forces Godzilla and Kong to team up. In this case, Kong actually discovers that there are actually more apes. Actually, no, they're not. They're not really. They're not really like Kongs. They're actually like different types of apes. So yeah, I'm probably gonna say that. Yeah, Kong basically discovers that there's actually more apes, and at the same time, this new
Pretty sure
tribe
they're
of
Kong
apes that we
species.
meet, actually the leader that they have, actually has some pretty malevolent intentions, especially with what he has in possession, and this basically forces Kong to team up with Godzilla in order to stop them. But yeah, in terms of the plot, I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good in terms of what it had to offer. I guess one of the positive, well, I guess the good things about this plot is that we actually go deeper into the All Earth, which that was actually pretty cool. We just go back to that landscape, just go even deeper. And I guess in terms of what happens in all of the stuff, like what happens in the plot, yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah, I think yeah, they're pretty good, and that's
Even though
basically
they
all I have to
barely
say.
scratched
What
the
about you,
surface of the
Niels?
Hollow Earth,
I
like
think
they're only in like a
I think the
subdivision of
story
the
and
Hollow
plot
Earth.
for
They
this movie
legit say
were
they
actually
haven't
pretty
scratched the
good.
surface.
I
Like
do
more
remember
to the
hearing there
Hollow
actually
Earth
were like
than what they
some things that kind of got retconned a little bit in here, and I guess
Oh,
in
yeah.
a sense this part kind of also. I feel like this part also kind of goes a little bit into spoiler territory too.
Oh yeah,
I don't.
yeah,
Which
yeah. People,
should I just say it now, or is there like a different part that it would be better for me to say?
you can say it now. You know what? I'm just gonna say it for those who are watching this. Huge major spoilers. Like we're gonna go like for entire we're gonna go a bit into detail with the movie. So yeah, there's gonna be huge major spoilers. So I suggest that you watch the movie first and then go back to this video. But yeah, go ahead, Niels.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Any of you remember that tribe from the previous movie, or at least the one that Gia is supposed to be a part of, the Hui tribe? Yeah, apparently they still exist.
Did I hear that right?
We thought they were wiped out, but apparently they're actually still alive. They've just been living under Hollow Earth this entire time. At least that's what's been going on in this movie. They basically reveal they've been living there for like the whole time. And then apparently Mothra somehow has connections with them. Oh wait, well, dang it. Well, never mind. But yeah, dang it, we're already going into spoiler territory. But yeah, they got some connections to Mothra in this case. Like for here, they basically are like they have some connections to that, and somehow Hollow Earth is also connected to pretty much all of that, and that also sort of ties into what's going on with the ape tribe that you find in this movie, like that Kong finds once he goes back into Hollow Earth, pretty much goes into the deeper parts of it. That's like some of the.
Why are you
things
calling
that
it
happen
A tribe?
here,
I'm pretty sure they call Kong.
I did find that kind of interesting that they decided to do that. I just didn't exactly expect them to go with that here.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess we can agree that the plot is well. I guess apart from some retcons, I guess the plot is still pretty good.
Yeah, though I guess this is kind of a thing that seems to be a running gag with the MonsterVerse. This could almost be applied to anything, but for the MonsterVerse, I think it kind of applies where the continuity is sort of all over the place when trying to figure out what's going on. Which I mean, we kind of already talked about. you and me talked about this separately, not like on video, but separately about the fact that the comics for the MonsterVerse is kind of iffy for like the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Like how they tie into everything. The fact that Monarch doesn't really acknowledge the stuff that happens there. So you could kind of say that, yeah, going into this one, expect something to be like a little murky, like a little like iffy when it comes to like how it ties into everything else, which is probably like one of the tricky things when it comes to like having a retroactive continuity for anything, that when trying to like add on to newer stuff as like a prequel, or you're doing it later on but adding in these details that weren't there before, sometimes it might contradict things that might have already been established, so you might have to find some way to write around that for it to make sense. Which I guess this movie, at least like some parts of the plot, kind of like is kind of an example of it. I wouldn't say it's exactly a bad example of it, but it's not. But it kind of serves as an example of pretty much like the do's and don'ts, or how like adding newer things to the continuity, like to points that would have happened earlier or later, kind of affect some stuff that's already there.
Yeah, good point. Then again, as we well talked about outside, the comics are the comics aren't really that reliable, considering that literally most of the events are never even mentioned in the movies, and ironically enough, the novelizations of the movies mention them, but even the novelizations contain like information that is like a bit out of nowhere that is not in the movie. So yeah, it's kind of a mess.
I'd say at least this kind of handle. I'd say at least this seems to handle that kind of thing a little better. But yeah, I think it's best they probably got like somebody to try to manage all that stuff to make sure if it makes sense. Like if they really are trying to line all this up to actually make sense and connect.
It's 2014 to 20. It's 2015 to 2017. When did any of that take place in 2012?
Yeah, pretty much. All right, we got over the plot now. I guess we could all go over with the characters. I guess we could start with the human characters. I think the human characters were pretty serviceable in this movie. I like them, yeah. I certainly liked following them. Let's see. Gia from the last movie, the GVK, obviously comes back, and yeah, she's still a pretty good character. Definitely was super interested with what they were doing with her, especially like I guess throughout the middle climax. Let's see. Bernie, if I'm not wrong, is the conspiracy theorist guy from GVK. He went through. I guess right now, in a way, he kind of went through like a conspiracy theorist to literally just an adventurer, like a traveler. And you know what? I like that. He's actually more. I actually like him like that. He's actually more likable. Pretty funny, I guess. And
yeah, he was kind of more memorable for me in this than he was in GVK. Like I remember him in that, but I think this movie actually made me love him as a character more. Like,
no,
for me personally, I feel like
the only good character in this movie.
Yeah, same.
That's the casting.
Let's see. The mom character, the adopted mother, the one who takes care of Gia. She was alright, yeah. Like, I think, arc in this movie, and again, spoilers for those who haven't watched the movie. I think her arc is like trying to find a way for Gia to be happy or something like that. I mean, there was like a scene where like she thinks that Gia was like going to stay with the Iwi tribe, seeing how she is she basically found her like a whole family, and she thought she was going to have to little girl, but that's not the case. So I guess her arc was like, being the better mother for like Gia or something like that.
Yeah, that's kind of what they were going for. I actually kind of like how they kind of tied the whole family aspect between them there, and also like Gia trying to pretty much like find her place in the world, like trying to figure out where she belongs.
I don't know. I didn't really like.
Like
I didn't
I actually
really.
kind of like how they
Okay,
did that.
that's one part of the movie I
That
did
was a great
like.
movie.
Is the family aspect
Yeah.
between the mom.
Let's see.
Gia,
The new character that we
but
see
it
in this
keeps
movie. Oh
getting
my god!
interrupted.
How did I forget his name? He was like also the best character. He was like
the dude who took out the dude basically was being a kaiju dentist.
yeah, the kaiju
Trevor.
doctor Trevor. That's his name.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Oh well.
That's what we called him.
Okay, well Trevor. Oh, I love Trevor. He's the best character.
No,
Yeah,
I don't like him.
Trevor.
I thought
Trevor
he
is
was
the best character.
bland
Like,
and
wow, I love
he's
this guy.
trying
He's
too hard to
super
be funny.
charismatic.
This movie
Oh
is
my God,
really
what's the
trying
French
too
say?
hard to be funny.
Charismatic.
And
Yeah, that's it.
tells
He's very
every
charismatic,
time.
and he's
I'm
a
sorry. I just
he's a
can't.
lovable guy. Like he's a lovable goofball. I like him.
That's what I said. His name is actually.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The characters in this movie are just trying too hard. Like the only characters I like in this movie are Gia, which I always love. I love seeing her character developed, and Gia's mom. But the rest of the cast I could give to craps about because they're completely pointless to the plot. They're legit just there for comic relief. That's basically like Trevor and Bernie's are just there for comic relief. They're legit just there for comic relief. Like I don't see no point in the role. They're just bland, forgettable. They're just there for comic relief, and they're trying so hard to make you laugh, which most of the time doesn't work. Yeah, they're just there for comic relief. Yeah, that's kind of what the downside of Monsterverse has turned into ever since Godzilla King of the Monsters. But at least with Godzilla King of the Monsters, you can laugh at the characters because I don't know. I think Godzilla King of the Monsters made me laugh, if I'm being honest. I don't mind the comic relief. I don't mind the comedy in that movie as much as the later Monsterverse movies got. Because let's face it, GVK and Godzilla X Kong have some of the worst comedy in the Monsterverse. But I'm sorry, these movies just don't take themselves seriously, especially this movie. I'm sorry. The characters are pretty much forgettable, besides the Iwi tribe, Jaya's mom, the mother, whatever. What's her name? I forgot her name. Rebecca Hall's character, whatever her name was, the mom of Jam, not the mother. I did enjoy her character. I also enjoyed Gia's, so that's a plus. I did enjoy those two characters, but the rest of the cast I could give two shits about because they're just bland, boring characters. And Bernie's and him are basically just comic reliefs. They're just comic reliefs, just trying to be there and trying to entertain you. Like they're just comic reliefs. I don't find them interesting at all. They're just comic reliefs. I honestly don't really care for them, to be honest.
Actually pronounced Trapper. Like the name
Oh,
that
Trapper.
he goes by
Yeah,
is
Trapper.
Trapper, not Trevor.
Oh fuck. Okay. Corrections. Trapper is I like Trapper. Trapper is he has so much character into him. He's a lovable goofball. I like him, and I like him, and I
He's boring.
like, but also find it hilarious how he's basically
He's bland.
the veterinary for kaiju's.
He was like outside of the monsters. He like him and Bernie are probably my two favorite characters in this movie.
Maybe yes, because the comic relief.
Like
Because the
every
comic
scene
relief, huh?
that
The
both of
comic
them,
relief
but especially
characters
Trevor
are
was
your
in,
favorite
was
characters, huh? Huh?
For me, I just let everything he did.
The comic relief characters are your favorite characters. Neos. Why are these two characters your favorite characters? They're just comic reliefs. Oh my. The comic reliefs are your favorite characters of them. Let's continue, shall we?
This film.
Yeah, same. Yeah, same. And I guess the last remaining characters that we could talk about is the Iwi tribe. Yeah, the Iwi tribe. Well, I know I'm probably gonna have a lot of people disagree. Actually, no, I'm probably gonna start a war with what I'm going to say. But I think the Iwi tribe in this movie were done much better than they were in Kong Skull Island. I said it.
What? What? What the fuck? Did I just hear that right? Did I just hear that right? Maybe rewind that. Maybe rewind that. Maybe I heard that. Maybe I misheard that. Maybe I misheard that. Maybe I misheard that. Maybe I misheard that.
The Iwi tribe. Yeah, the Iwi tribe. Well, I know I'm probably gonna have a lot of people disagree. Actually, no, I'm probably gonna start a war with what I'm going to say. But I think the Iwi tribe in this movie were done much better than they were in Kong Skull Island. I said it.
Ah!
Like, okay.
No. Godzilla Reader, stop it. Get some help. Did you even watch Kong Skull Island before watching this film? Like, oh my god. No. Just no. Those the Iwi tribe from Kong Skull Island are way better. No. Oh. uh, but I'm gonna,
Okay, just to calm everybody down, I'm not saying that the Iwi tribe in Kong Skull Island, like their participation in the movie, were like, no, they were not bad. It's just that I feel like in that movie they were just kind of there. Like the movie in Kong Skull Island, the movie basically tells you that Kong is basically the protector of this tribe, which okay. And then, but the problem is that we don't spend a lot of time with them. In fact, the only time we gather with those guys is they're helping the main protagonist fix the boat, and then that's it. We do not see them ever again. So that's I don't know. For me, that's a bit of a wasted, like a wasted character. If I'm being honest.
By the time we did some
in the GXK, they actually play a much bigger role. And honestly, pretty much I like what they were. I like what they did with them in this movie than what they had in Kong Skull Island. If I'm being honest. What about you, Niels? What do you think of the tribe?
I think they were handled pretty well. I'm not really sure which I would say, like for which portrayal between Skull Island and this that I like the more, like from them. I probably need to rewatch Skull Island to probably get like a better opinion on that. But from here, I think they were handled pretty well. At least I thought they were pretty good. Like I don't know if I'd say they were my favorite part of the movie or not, but I did actually like how they were done here.
Yeah. Oh, almost forgot. I guess one character we can also talk about an honorable mention. That one guy that got eaten by a tree.
He was barely in the movie for like 5 minutes, maybe a little bit more than that. But like he was barely here. He was only there the whole time in this movie. What he was doing, talking crap, and the next thing you knew, got eaten by a monster tree.
Like literally, like
bro.
Again, spoilers, but his last moment was him trying to like put authority, and then the tree was like, "Oh, shut the hell up! Just shut up! You scream too loud."
And Jim just ate him.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I think we can agree that the human characters in this movie were pretty serviceable. They were pretty serviceable in this movie. I think I would say they. I think yeah, they were a bit more enjoyable than I guess GBK. But yeah, the human characters in this movie are pretty good. All right, pretty serviceable. Okay. Yeah. I guess the next thing we can go over is what can we go over? I guess the music, the soundtrack, basically. Now I guess as it is obvious, the soundtrack, basically the composer for the movie is once again. Oh, for freak's sake! How do I keep forgetting this name? But anyways, they basically the composer for the music is the same person from GBK. I mean, which makes sense considering that the movie is directed by Adam Wingard, so of course they will bring the same composer. But the music,
Glad
okay,
Bear
I
McCreary, for
guess in terms of
God's
the
sake.
music in this
Junkie
movie, yeah,
XL's
it's pretty
soundtrack's
cool.
fucking
I mean,
sucks.
okay, I've heard a lot of people always complain about the composer of GVK and also this movie, saying that the music is just doesn't sound like it sounds too generic, like it doesn't sound like something from Godzilla, which I don't really get it. I mean, if we were going for that logic, that would mean that, let's see, the music in Super Mario Galaxy isn't like good because it doesn't sound like Mario. Or like the music at Sonic Frontiers isn't good either because it sounds something out of Genshin Impact, or even like any other of the Oyoverse games. Or heck, a better example, you could the theme song of Gamera in the anime Gamera Birth isn't good at all because it sounds nothing like Gamera. Actually, it sounds more like a Pacific Rim type of music. And you know what? I think I'm gonna stand with that opinion because the more I listen to it, it barely sounds like a film from Gamera. But yeah, people don't like. They weren't like the biggest fan with like the composer that did the music for both GXK and GVK. But to me personally, I like what the composer, like what they did with like the music for this movie. Like
Why?
it's pretty good. Like sure, you could easily complain about Godzilla's theme song being just just not right, but I like his theme song, as well as I do with Kong. But yeah, the music is still pretty good, honestly. I guess yeah, okay, yeah, we're gonna talk about it later. But yeah, the music is pretty good, honestly. I don't really find it that generic. It's still like pretty fitting music for a Godzilla movie or even a Kong movie. But yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, for the most part, I'd say yeah, it's pretty good. I'm not really sure how anybody said that it was that doesn't really fit Godzilla. I mean, I guess some of it, like maybe like some of the music in between, might sound like a little off, but I'd say like at least some of the music choices they went for in the movie, I felt like it at least worked. If you were to say that it felt like it kind of fit more for Kong than it did Godzilla, then I kind of would agree. Like I would kind of agree a little bit with you, since well, my opinion on the movie is the fact that I feel like the movie actually kind of focused more on Kong than it really did Godzilla here. At least from how I saw it, it felt more like this actually focused more on Kong, while the other one obviously kind of had them both share the limelight, but we saw Kong a little bit more, but the story mostly revolves around Godzilla there. This one, it mostly focuses on Kong, at least from like when looking at it, it feels like
Godzilla got a little bit more screen time.
This one is definitely Kong's movie. So if you were to say that the soundtrack seemed like
not
it was
by
a little
much,
bit more
but he did get a little bit more screen time
for him, then I kind of agree. But to say like none of it fits for Godzilla, I'm not so sure about that.
Godzilla got a little bit more screen time.
I mean, okay, don't get me wrong. Okay, how do I keep forgetting this name? Like the composer who did the music for Godzilla 2 King of the Monster, the same
it's
one
right there in front of you. Damn it,
yeah,
look at the freaking title.
That soundtrack, like yeah,
it's right there in front of you. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, okay. I'm going to agree with everyone saying that. Yeah, Bear McCreary King of the
Oh,
Monsters
favorite
absolutely
soundtrack.
killed it with the soundtrack. Like, sure, it's reusing the old classic soundtrack for the kaiju's, but the way he makes them sound is just so like mythical, just so majestic. Like, it's so good. Like, yeah, I could agree with that, but honestly, I don't really mind the new music done by the other composer, the other composer. And besides, I'm probably gonna piss a lot of people saying that, but honestly, looking back at the Godzilla's theme song in the 2014 movie, it really does not fit in. It really does not fit him at all. Like, the more I listen to that theme song, like the main thing of the 2014 movie, it's like they're trying to make Godzilla. I mean, okay, I could. This is just my opinion, but that soundtrack kind of makes Godzilla look like he was the villain, but in the movie is not really that villain. And besides, this version isn't even close enough of being the villain. So really, yeah, I think saying that the music just doesn't fit with like Godzilla is such a, again, it's a bit of a weird notion, because you could easily say for like other series that also have like different music for their franchise, and yet it's the music they use, it's something that doesn't even work with their respective series.
And even then, like if you were to say that, like I guess you could also say another thing for if you were to say that Godzilla was even like seemed like he was almost an antagonistic role for the MonsterVerse. The only thing that really like kind of flirted with that idea was really just Godzilla versus Kong. But even then, that was mostly because we didn't really have too much of the context of why exactly Godzilla was like attacking all these power plants until we found out, oh, it's because he senses the energy from like the Ghidorah head, which was pretty much being used to make Mecha Godzilla. Like that's the only thing we knew. But at that point, we didn't have any of that context till that part of the movie. Like so, at that point, we didn't really know to think of if Godzilla was actually becoming a villain for some reason now, or if it was something else where it was kind of just disrupt his peace and the balance in the world, which is basically what was actually going on. Like, yeah, like I mean, sure, is Godzilla kind of aggressive? Is he like very competitive when he wants to fight? Yeah, even this movie pretty much shows it. Literally, when he first sees Kong, he's already like, oh, it's on again, monkey boy, time to fight, time to put you back in the ground. But no, like before then, that's not what was going on. Like in that movie, that's not really what was happening. Like. He could be aggressive and competitive, but like he wasn't like full blown evil. And you could say, yeah, the music in 2014 might have like gave that impression, but that whole movie he's clearly not that, like at all.
I know. I love this
Yeah,
picture
pretty
from
much.
2014.
And I
It
guess
doesn't make
sure
it
you
sound
could
offensive
you
at
could
all.
easily
It's
say that
amazing
the
stuff.
music for the
Important.
2014 movie was
Force of
basically
nature.
not really like going for the
Doesn't really make him sound like a villain. I wouldn't say
antagonistic style, but more like the
no.
natural disaster side, which I can't understand that. But again, the more I listen to it, I really cannot see Godzilla being this like. I mean, sure, he was a natural disaster in the movie, but again, that theme song does not sound like something from a natural disaster. It sounds like something from a villain's theme song. Like, and again, he's not the villain in that movie, nor is he the villain in this universe. But yeah, the music is good enough, and the music is good enough. I don't think it's really that bad.
No, I still
Although
think the best music.
I guess one theme song for one character that we will talk about later. I guess in some way it is kind of bad, but I don't know. We'll talk about it once we talk about the character. Let's see. I guess the next thing we could talk about is I think you said it somewhere, Neos, in the chat. Something about imagery, VFX, the imagery, like something like that. It's cinema. Oh my god, cinematography. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, if you just please do not complain about my English. I'm not even English. I'm actually French. But yeah, basically, you said something about the I guess the action and the cinematography being like super good in this movie.
Yeah, like at least in my opinion, like when seeing like multiple parts of the movie, I thought it actually was kind of stellar with that. Like with some of the shots they took, especially like in some of the action scenes, like especially like I would say both during when Kong needed to recruit Godzilla, but also a little bit of the Tiamat fight. I wouldn't say that scene was like the most star one they had, but I think it was one of the good examples that they had. But I'd also say even the final fight between, well, at least like when they're first in Hollow Earth, between Godzilla, Kong, Mothra, and then of course them against Star King, the other apes, and of course Shimo. Like I thought like the cinematography in those scenes were actually pretty good. Like say what you will about it, like maybe I might be wrong about it, but at least for me when I was watching the film, the kind of perspective shots that they had for that, especially with how crazy the action was going for the movie, I just had a blast with it and just thought that whatever the heck they were doing, like whatever the heck Adam Wingard was thinking of when he decided to pretty much direct it to be kind of like this, I feel like it might have been genius, at least for me, like with how they handled it for these. Like in my opinion, I feel like this probably was like one of the best ways he could have done it, or at least just for some of the directors, like for Godzilla or kaiju related films. I feel like the cinematography in this one, and of course like the action, I feel like it was handled like pretty well. Like actually maybe more than that, but still,
I don't
like,
know. The cinematography, the soundtrack.
It's in a way where I don't even think I can really put it in the words. Like
It's alright,
like,
I guess.
yeah,
I just think
sometimes I'm terrible explaining the stuff I like, but
Michael
basically,
Douglas' cinematography was a little bit better
awesome
than these movies.
To put it lightly. The way they put it out is awesome. That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Definitely can agree on that. Yeah, the action is definitely the best thing in this movie. Like, dang. And yes, in terms of the cinematography, I think we can I guess we can agree that this movie is actually pretty beautiful. Like, holy crap!
Yeah, I'll give
Like
you
the
that.
details, like all the
Cinematography is
details that we
beautiful.
like go through in terms of like the
I won't say
overall,
anything
like the
special,
new environment, like
it is
everything. Like it's all, it may be all CGI'd, but it's like so beautiful.
But it's like it like, yeah, of course it all is CGI. We know that, but it's like it looks good enough that it's just like with how it all looks, we all know that it's not exactly real. Like it's not real what we're seeing, but it looks good enough that it makes you wish it was. Especially like when actually going to Hollow Earth. Actually, probably just being in the Hollow, like the different parts of Hollow Earth, especially once we see the Iwi tribe. That's probably one of the more stunning things from this movie, and that kind of falls under like just how the cinematography is done for this, like the cinematography and art direction, whatever they were thinking of when they decided to design all of these and then film it like this. I think they did a good job. I think they honestly did a good job, like with really how they did, because it makes me wish something like this was actually real, or at least it looks good enough that it would almost make you think that it would gaslight you into thinking it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Honestly, man, I guess yeah, I guess we can agree that the VFX, which thank you Google for the research, is actually the special effect. We can agree that the special effect in this movie is pretty on point.
Yeah, I'd say you're wrong. I'd say you're not wrong about that. That well, I guess that also kind of applies under like some of the CGI parts and whatever practical effects they were trying to do here, but that part it definitely looks pretty good. Mm-hmm. Now I don't know if I'd say if like the effects from the previous movies were better or worse than this one, but I feel like it at least looks really stunning here. Like I feel like what they did with the effects here worked out pretty well, especially when it also comes to like really just what all the monsters do in this movie too. Like that, and then I guess like some of Trapper's tech as well, like for how all that kind of works out here.
Yeah, pretty much. We went over that, and I guess the next thing we could talk about are the monsters themselves. Basically, the other characters that we can talk about. And oh boy, there is a lot. I will definitely say there. I don't know if I don't know if this matches the number of monsters compared to King of the Monsters, but dang, we get to see a lot of kaijus in this movie.
Okay, so due to the fact that the video is really long, like seriously, like literally an hour long, I've decided to cut the part in which me and Niels talk about the kaijus. So yeah, that part will be on a part 2 that I'll be working on after uploading this video. So yeah, see you there then.
Oh, come on, Godzilla. You could have done an ending better than that. You could have said, well, it looks like this is the end of this part. Well, it looks like we'll have to continue this in the next part. Stay tuned for Godzilla X Kong New Empire Review Part 2. What will happen next? Like, you could have done a little bit better than that. Instead of just saying what's blatantly obvious. Come on. You gotta do a little bit better than that, Godzilla. Come on. Even you gotta do a little bit better than that, Godzilla. Come on. You know you gotta do better than that. You got to be better. Ugh. Ugh. Man. Oh, Jesus, this video is like 51 minutes long. Well, what did I think of the words? Let me say what I think of the Rwby Resurgence teaser. I thought it was good. It's obviously that they're teasing Shimu, and apparently Godzilla is going to be in the next chapter, I guess, of Rwby Resurgence. I guess. So, eh. I guess another thing that's good is that another good thing I can say is that for the Godzilla vs Kong, I'm not Godzilla vs Kong, Godzilla X Kong view, not really a big. I thought they made some good points, except when it came to the character parts. The soundtrack I didn't agree with. The soundtrack, in my opinion, just sounds bland and forgettable. I know people, and it has nothing to do sound out of place. It just doesn't sound good enough compared to other Godzilla movie soundtracks. Even compared, and him saying that the G14 soundtrack makes it sound like he's a villain, even though he's not. I don't agree with. It just makes him sound like he's a natural disaster, which he is. That's what the Monsters vs. Godzilla has always been, a natural disaster. He's not the hero. He's basically the anti-hero. I wouldn't consider him a hero at all. He's an anti-hero. Like, come on. He causes a lot of destruction in Boston, San Francisco, Hawaii. Like, he legit kills people the first time he arrives in Hawaii. Like, he legit causes a tsunami to kill people. Like, did we forget that happened? Did we forget that happened? Like, he is a natural disaster. And he also killed people on San Francisco Bridge. He's a natural disaster. So his theme kind of makes him sound, at least for that movie, makes him sound like a natural disaster. That he is a force of nature that you don't want to mess with. So you don't want him to be in your way. At least for 2014. And GXK and GVK2, those soundtracks, it's none of them more memorable. I barely listened to them. Like, I think I've only listened to them when I first saw the movie, and that's about it. But the soundtrack is just forgettable as hell. Like, I mean, there's nothing, absolutely nothing good about the soundtrack. It's just bland, forgettable, boring as hell. Like, the soundtrack in GVK and GXK by Junkie XL was poor choosing. And I know why they brought Junkie X out is because Bear McCreary was part of King of Monsters, and King of Monsters didn't do that well in the box office. But give him credit. He made that soundtrack sound amazing. Like, come on, could you at least bring Bear McCreary back from King of the Monsters? We don't need Junkie X out. I swear to God, Adam Wingard, if you're watching this, which you're probably not, if you're watching this, bring back Bear McCreary. I will literally make a petition just for you to bring back Bear McCreary. I swear to God. I will. Don't make me do it. I'll make a petition. Just bring back Bear McCreary for Godzilla. For Godzilla X Kong 3. I swear to God, I will make a petition. Or whatever the next movie's called. Godzilla X Kong, Destroy All Monsters, or whatever it's called. But I swear to God, you better bring back Bear McCreary, because he needs to come back. But anyway, what I think of the video soundtrack, the part about the soundtrack was cool. Characters, I didn't agree with. I didn't agree with that part at all. Another part that I didn't agree with was with I guess like the cinematography I did agree with. I did agree that the cinematography was good. I didn't agree with the characters, especially when he said that the Rwby tribe is better than the one from Squadron, which actually, now thinking about it, I kind of agree with it, because the Rwby tribe in there, in Consco Island, now thinking about it, the Consco Island Rwby tribe didn't really do much and were just kind of there to force exposition. But at least they were memorable enough about the movie that you actually cared about the Rwby tribe, and they want you to see, and you wanted to see more of them, which we did. We got to see more of them in GXK. To be honest, I like them both equally. So, yeah. Even though pretty much everybody on the Rwby tribe on Squad Island pretty much died. Yeah, they're dead. But yeah. Also, what I think of this movie is, in the review, I thought it was alright. It was an alright review. It was mostly positive review. I wish you would have gone into more of the negatives of the movie instead of just giving a positive review. But I expected a positive review because I know he loves this movie. So, of course, it was going to be a positive review. I didn't expect a negative review from this movie. I expected a positive review. A positive! I'm sorry. I just don't love GXK. I think it's average at best. Don't get me wrong. It's 5 out of 10 for me, but it's average at best. 5 out of 10 for me. Yeah. And same thing for GVK, 5 out of 10. I will say that I do enjoy GVK a little bit more than GXK, but that's not saying much because they're both bland movies. Like, they're just forgettable. They're just there. And what I think of the Monsterverse so far is, yeah, it started off great with started off okay with GB14, amazing with Kong Skull Island, even more amazing with Godzilla King of the Monsters, and then it went downhill from there. The only other thing that I liked from the recent era of the Monsterverse was Monarch Legacy of Monsters, because it had a grounded tone, same with G14. It was more, and you can even argue that it was more grounded than GB14. I will argue that. I will say that Monarch Legacy of Monsters was more grounded than GB14. It had a more grounded tone than GB14 did. And that's saying a lot. But I did enjoy. I didn't really enjoy. I don't know. I'm not really liking Adam Wingard's direction that he's going to this trilogy. And yeah, this is a trilogy. He got signed on for 3 films, so we got one more film from him. At least one more. Let's hope it ends on a grand finale. Let's hope it ends the MonsterVerse. I really hope that film flops. I don't want to see no more of these. I want Toho to continue making their movies. Please make your Anyway, this is Anagoji sign off. And remember, stay big, G fans. I guess also Rwby Resurgence fans, if you're out there. I'm not sure if you're out there. I don't know. Apparently, it's a fans with Rwby Resurgence, so I got to say that too. Stay big, Godzilla. Stay big, G fans, and stay big, Rwby Resurgence fans. See you in the next one. Bye bye.